You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
My name's Raul, by the way. What's yours?
Noah.
Noah. Nice to meet you, man. You coffee drinker?
No, but they told me it would work, so.
They told you it would work?
Yeah, I feel a bit tired, so yeah.
Is it working?
I don't know.
I'll be honest with you. Coffee almost puts me to sleep most of the time. Yeah.
I've tried it before, and I always like. It almost feels like a placebo effect, you know?
Huh. Interesting. When I was in school, I used to take these little caffeine tablets sometimes.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if they work. It's probably water pills.
Yeah.
Probably placebo effect, you know. Anyway, I'm doing interviews today about epistemology, which is the field of knowledge in philosophy. And so you pick the topic, just something that you know, some belief that you hold. And the questions that I ask will be around how did you arrive at that belief? How did you get from point A to point B? In other words, like to your conclusion.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And it can be any belief, just some deeply held belief that you're fairly convinced of, that is kind of foundational to you. It could be God, it could be politics, it could be some other religious claim, it could be supernatural, it could be and anything, and none of the above, whatever, just some deeply held belief that for you is foundational.
So I guess God, yeah.
Okay, great. So you want to kind of elaborate on it you're saying you believe in God?
I believe in Jesus Christ.
Okay. So why is this a belief that you hold?
Because I feel that He set an example, and that I feel that through what I see today, the storms, the violence, all that what He's saying is true.
Okay. So you said He set the example.
The prophecies and the stories that are held in the Bible.
Okay. So prophecies, stories. Mm-hmm. So for you, the fact that there's the prophecies in the Bible, you've seen them come to pass, and that leads you to the conclusion that God exists? Yeah. Okay. And any other reasons? Is this kind of like
I mean, look around you, how can you say that we came from, I don't know, whatever science says, This building was built by a person, right? So how are we not, made by someone greater? Okay,
great. So I'm hearing two reasons here. That's the second one. Number one is the prophecy. Number two is, like, where else did we come from?
Yeah.
Okay. On a scale of 0 to 100, give me a sense of how confident you are in this belief. Is this something that you would say you are 100% on?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
100, and what I mean by that is that there's absolutely no way I can be mistaken of this belief. No possible way. Okay, so
I probably can't explain it, I can't explain it well, but to me that's just what makes sense.
Okay, and it makes sense because of the reasons you gave.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so how can we? Well, let's maybe pick one of these reasons. Do you want to go into the prophecies first, or where did we come from first?
I mean, I'm not an expert, so it'd be hard for me to argue on it, but to me it just makes sense. That's what I want to know.
Okay, it just makes sense.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. So what about it makes sense?
It's just, I mean, say these buildings, say all this stuff, right? It was made by somebody, right?
Gotcha. Okay.
And so how can we look at a tree and say, hey, that's something else. That's not. Or how can you believe that that we just happen to be?
Okay. Okay.
Everything fell in perfect. Like we're third planet from the sun.
Mm-hmm.
From the sun.
Mm-hmm.
How is it that all of these factors are perfect so that they can have life?
So I get it. So it makes sense to you that there is some kind of design behind the universe, behind life.
Mm-hmm.
Is it possible that there is some kind of natural explanation to these things?
I guess so. I mean, I guess so, yeah.
Okay. So for you, how can we determine whether these things are due to intelligent design or on the one hand, or nature on the other? How can we figure out whether it's due to one or the other?
I don't know. That's a tough question to ask. I don't know, just through the theories in science or whatever. I mean, I don't know how to say this, but I just feel like every conclusion that we've come to like everything has turned out to be a theory, or hasn't been proven yet, right? But everything in the Bible that's foretold is happening already. So how can you not believe in something that's already been told?
Okay. Let's hold off on the prophecy part for now. I would like to get into that, but stick into the design issue. So my question was, like, how can we figure out whether it's one or the other, whether it's design or whether it's nature? And what do you think? Like, is there a way we can find out? Is there?
I don't think so. I don't know. I don't know how to answer that question. That's hard. I really don't know.
How do we know? So you mentioned the thing that leads you to your conclusion is the fact that it looks so designed. It looks so okay. Is it possible for us to see something in nature that looks designed and yet it not actually be designed?
Yeah, that could be a possibility. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's happened in the past, right? Like, if you look at human history, we've believed that things came from
higher.
Right, from a god of some kind. Whether it was lightning or the weather cycle or whatever. Like, we've held these kind of beliefs before, and yet we were mistaken about it actually be. So how can we protect ourselves against that kind of false conclusion?
Just to, I guess, to have be scientific about it, not just jump to conclusions, but to see out every possibility. Right?
Okay.
I have no idea. I mean, that's a really tough question.
Do you think that 100% certainty is the best place to be regarding this claim that
No, I mean, I can see how you can't be 100% certain, because we don't really know. But to me, that's just how I feel. It makes sense to me.
Okay. So how about the prophecies? You mentioned that you've seen things in the Bible come to pass. Like, do you want to maybe get specific? Like, what are you referring to?
I mean, I can't it talks about the end of time, the end times, how there's rumors of war, how there's natural disasters, there's death, there's conflict, there's ideas of one world order or whatever. So I feel like we're in those kind of times. So that's why I believe that.
Okay. Like the things that you mentioned, they don't strike me as being very specific. Like you mentioned war, disaster, death, conflict. I mean, that's stuff that's
happened in the past.
Yeah, I mean anybody can make it seems like anybody can make.
Nobody really knows. That's the thing. But I don't know. Yeah, I just feel like that those are the times we're in, and yeah.
If you found similar prophecies in another holy book, would that
probably are? I mean,
so if you saw that, what would that do for you? Like, would that lead you to the conclusion that holy book is that God exists?
I don't think so. I mean, I'm like strict with my beliefs, so I mean, even if in the Quran it said the exact same thing, I wouldn't just go over and jump into say, I believe in Allah as well. So yeah, I'm just, because I was born into Christianity, and there was a time when I questioned it, and I just did research, and I thought about it, and then I just came to the conclusion that that's for me is true.
Okay. Do you think that somebody who was born into maybe like a Muslim family
they would obviously have the same strong values into to Islam?
Does that like realization make you any less confident? No. Okay.
Well, I understand how like someone born in a different religion sees their religion as right. Me born into Christianity, I feel like that's right. And then, there might be conflict through that, but yeah, I just feel that that's right to me.
You feel like that's right to you? I wonder, do you think that feelings are like the best indicator of whether or not something is true?
No, not at all. But yeah, I mean, I'm not like, I don't know all about it. I can't say I know everything about it and then just, tell you everything. I don't. But that's just what I think.
Do you think that feelings can get us to 100% certainty in something?
They can't. Yeah, they just don't. They can't.
Okay. All right, Noah. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, no
Thanks for your time. What are you studying here?
computer science.
Interesting. How far along are you into it?
Oh, I